Hello, my Cappies. I'm going to do your energy reading. And we're going to look at what you may possibly be struggling with. We have these two that came out. Reclaim your power and act as if. What you may need to look at. Seahorse spirit, watch and wait. Possible future energies. Coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. Oops. Trusting in those detours. Sometimes we can get really frustrated with those. We're like, oh my goodness, why is this happening to me? Time to collaborate. Ant spirit, overall energy, putting the pieces together. And I feel like it has to do with trusting those divine detours, is that when you get to that point, you see, oh, I see why that happened. I see why that didn't happen. I see that why that was going on. All right, so let's grab some tarot. I have my Greenwich Tarot. So what you may possibly be struggling with is acting as if, reclaiming your power. I almost feel like it's kind of struggling with, I feel like there's something that you want to do. There's something that you want to achieve. There's a new business or something. And I feel like there's something that you want to do or achieve, and it's harder than you were thinking it was. And it's hard for you to believe that things are going to happen. That it's, you know, sometimes we want to do something like we want to, say we're cooking for the holidays and we're like, oh, I've made that dish a million times and it should only take me this amount of time. And then you start making it and you're like, oh my gosh, I thought I had this ingredients in the pantry. I didn't have that. You know, the oven is having some issues, or my mixer isn't working, or this is happening, or I don't have the container to put it. And it becomes a lot harder than you thought. And you're like, oh my gosh, I thought this was going to be a lot easier, but this is turning out to be a lot harder. I don't even know if I want to make this dish, right? So I feel like there's something that you want to achieve or you want to do, and you're having trouble with believing that it's going to happen because you're running into all of these obstacles, that you're losing your patience, and you're like, can I even trust that this is even going to work for me, right? Six of Pentacles. And this one here, she's handing out coins, and this person is giving her flowers back, but this person has some dice hiding behind his back. And you're like, well, can I even trust this situation? Is it even going to work out? Like, should I even try making this dish? Should I even try? I feel like you're struggling with, why is this so hard for me, right? Why is this being so difficult? Why am I having all of these challenges? Or why am I having this negativity in my head, feeling like it's not going to happen? Watch and wait. What do you need to look at? Watch and wait. Three of Wands. I feel like there's something else. Sometimes we think, so if we're waiting for that special person to come in for us, right, and we're single, or waiting for that person to come in, or waiting for something to happen, that maybe you feel that you are ready for this to happen, but that person that is coming in for you, that relationship that is coming in for you, or that opportunity that is coming in for you, that end is not ready to happen for you. That if it's a relationship and that person, maybe that person still has some inner things that they have to work on before they're ready to meet you, before they're ready to come into your life, or before that job opportunity is ready to come into your life. Maybe there are other things that are going on with the other end. It doesn't have to mean your end. Maybe you're feeling confident and you're feeling good and you're trying. And you're like, why is it not happening? It may not have to do with you. It could be what is going on the other end. And that may be something that you need to think about while you're watching and you're waiting. And then that helps you to put the pieces together, that when that comes in and things start to happen and you see why, oh, that's why. Because that was not ready to come in for me. And it wasn't going to work out if that situation came in or that person came in, because that person wasn't ready for a relationship, and it would have just turned into a disaster. So watching and waiting. And while you're watching and waiting, I feel like it's enjoying those moments, enjoying those things that are going on now, saying, okay, I'm not going to get frustrated that this is not happening for me. What else can I do? How can I think about this differently? I feel like it's concocting something new, doing something new, trying something different. What's a different way that you can look at this situation if it's not happening the way that you want it to do, right? Number one, the witch is the magician, trusting in divine detours, reclaiming your power, getting things back under control. If you're starting to feel anxious, if you're starting to feel overwhelmed, okay, how do I get this back under control? Divine detours, definitely. Look at that with the wheel. Talk about a detour. Relationships. That if this didn't work out over here, trusting in a divine detour, that you waited for something that is better than you could have imagined, right? That is better than what you were thinking, that is more fulfilling than what you were thinking, and then you put those pieces together and you say, oh, okay, now I know why that happened. Hanging in there, right? 9 of Wands, hanging in there, not giving up, not starting to go to the negative, not starting to think that it's never going to happen, or not starting to put that frustration, because you don't want to get, if you're in a good place, right, you don't want to put yourself in a bad place and start thinking negatively because things aren't happening, because then that's going to turn everything around, and that's going to change things, and then you're going to start seeing things differently, and you're going to start struggling yourself, right? That's exactly what I was talking about when I went to go shuffle and the devil card came out. Not putting yourself in that toxic energy or that toxic way of thinking and starting to talk yourself out of something, or getting frustrated with something before it's even happened, or because it's taking too long, right? To let go of that death card, Scorpio, letting go of what is holding you back, but knowing that that transformation and that change is headed your way. You have to hang in there, 7 of Wands. You have to stand. You feel like all of these things are coming towards you, or they're not happening, or you're starting to have these doubts. But standing strong and saying, no, I'm going to take a time out here. I know they're going to happen for me. Things are going to happen for me. I'm not going to get stuck in my head. I'm not going to start worrying about things, stressing about things that you can't control. I know it's easier said than done. But I feel like, for some reason, I feel like with this here, these 2 cards here, I feel like it's looking at doing something else. If we just sit and we're waiting for something to happen and it's not happening, then we start to get irritated and frustrated, and we start to get into a negative energy. But if we go out and we go do something, and we occupy our mind, or we focus on something different, then it seems like that comes in for us, and we don't even realize how much time has gone by. There's an obstacle in your way, but how do you get past it? Looking at it, right, with the Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, sorry. Looking at it as, how do I get past this? Am I going to let this overcome me? How do I reclaim my power? How do I get this back on track? Looking at the path ahead of you. There's one path where I can sit here and I can be irritated and I can be angry and I can be frustrated and I can start lashing out at everyone around me because I'm angry. Or I can figure out, okay, what else can I do? What can I focus on? What is something else that I can put my energy on so that I'm not getting frustrated? Look at this, 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords. Choices, decisions, directions. Looking at things, well, if I don't do anything, this is what's going to happen. If I do something, that's what's going to happen. And then what happened, right? The opportunity comes in for you. Least expecting it. You're sitting there, he's reading his book because he's occupying his time and he's not getting frustrated with things not happening. He's not giving his power over to the situation and the frustration of waiting for something to happen. That he found his book and he started reading his book, and before he knew it, all this time went by and the opportunity came in for him. High Priestess, listening to that inner voice that you know inside that things are going to work out and things are going to be fine and things are going to happen for you. Underneath all of that frustration and that irritation, right, and that madness and that stress and that anxiety, that if you really listen to your inner voice, what it's telling you, where it's guiding you, and you know that things will be okay. All right, let's get Star Dragon's card. We have this one, returning, going with the flow. That's exactly what I was saying. Going with the flow of, okay, this is going to take some time. I'm not going to get frustrated with it. What else can I do? Let me read my book. Go with the flow. I'm just going to wait this out, right? The flow is saying it's not happening for me right now, but I'm not going to get frustrated. It could be on the other end, right? It could be something else that you need to see, a new direction, some guidance. I'm just going to go with the flow and let things happen, and things will fall into place and will show me the direction that I need to go in. Number 96, forgiveness. That one's come out a lot. Forgiveness. Forgiveness for yourself. Forgiveness for a situation. Forgiveness for other people. Right? Something that we need to focus on. And then relationship change. There may be a relationship change here. Could be a friend, family member. A relationship change within yourself, that you're not going to let things get irritating. Bottom of the deck, we have self-discipline. Sometimes it's hard, right? That self-discipline to say, oh, I'm not going to get in the Nine of Swords. But it's so much easier for me to get into that Nine of Swords and for me to worry and stress about things. Having that self-discipline, no, I'm not going to get there. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to find the solution, and I'm going to look at the consequences, and I'm going to change that. I'm going to go find something else to focus on and something else to do. Could be that relationship change within yourself, or it could be somebody that you're with. Definitely things for you to think about. All right. How do you handle this situation to reclaim your power? Trusting in those divine detours and putting all the pieces together. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.